Okay.
All right.
Thank you. Thank you. All right. Let's just wait for everybody to come in quickly and then we'll just give them 5 or 10 minutes. Okay.
All right. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you so much. All right, welcome everybody. We're nearly ready to start. Just wait for a couple more people to come in. I'll take a sip of coffee and move the dog. Okay.
Ladies and gentlemen, please confirm if you can see the chat. Just show me your thumbs up, please. If you can see my text on the chat, just show me your thumbs up. There we go.
Right, looking good. Yay. Okay. All right. Good afternoon, everybody. Here we go. Sure. It's Tuesday already. It feels like 2024 has just finished and 2025 has started with a bang. Okay. Tumelo, you've got one question already. You've got a hand up.
Sorry about that. Good afternoon.
Dr.
Lau, sorry, my son is waiting to be let in. He's on another computer and he can't get in. It says the administrator needs to let him in.
No, everybody's in. There's nobody in the lobby. Is he joining on the very first link?
Yes. I'll quickly go double check.
Okay, thank you.
Oh.
Tumelo, you ready?
Yes, 100%.
Okay. All right. It's exciting. Whew. Give it 2 more minutes. I've just seen 2 people coming in, so let's give them a minute to get in. Okay.
All right.
Just let everybody in. I'm just going to go and fetch all my little robots examples quickly. I'll be back in a minute.
All right.
Okay.
Did you finish your lunch back? Was it too late? Stop the windows. Blankets in lunch.
Can I ask after this session, Dr. House,
Yes.
we need to change the settings of this session. Yeah. Let me know if you're ready.
I'm just looking. These people are not seeing the document.
Which document are you referring to?
With the schedule.
All right, ladies and gents, please confirm if you can see my screen. Just show me a thumbs up, please. Thank you. So people can see the document, Dr. House.
Yeah, I thought so too. All right, I think we should get started. I'm seeing we have quite a few names that I recognize, but I'm also seeing quite a few new names, which is always exciting. There we go. All right. So welcome everybody. 2025 has started with a bang. I thought we'd have a quiet entry into it with the January for planning, but February's here. So here we go. All right. Tumelo, do you want to introduce yourself?
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for joining today's session, the first of 2025 509 learning session. I'm seeing familiar faces or familiar names as well here. And welcome to the new participants. Please be mindful of the chat box. I'll be throwing in some information for the new participants. And for those that are joining us not for the very first time, thank you also for making the time to join us. It is muchly appreciated. Some basic house rules. Please ensure that your microphones are muted. and your cameras are disabled. If you do have any questions during the course of the session, feel free to raise your hand, or you can type on the chat box. We'll certainly notify Dr. Khomuz when that happens. And for those of you that can see the screen, those are our sessions for this week. So basically
Only
this
here?
week. Yeah, I meant the ones that I've highlighted.
Okay.
This one. So, all right, as Dr. Host indicated, this is for the whole year. And then for this week, we are still using the same link. So if you do have this document, that's cool. If you don't have, send an email here. Then I'll quickly send you this document. Just indicate that you'd like to get the schedule for the live online learning sessions. Otherwise, without wasting time, I'll hand over to you, Dr. Host. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Tamelo. Awesome. Let me just get myself sorted here. There we go. So welcome, everybody. It always is very daunting when you start something new and you think, oh, never going to get there. Anyway, we really invite you to just to participate. You're going to get to a point, and we're going to say, you see, it wasn't that bad, and it's hopefully it's going to be sooner rather than later. We are here to assist you. If you saw on your invite, all the Q&A sessions, there's a Friday session at 3 o'clock, from 3 till 3:30. Interesting turnabout there is that sometimes we have people joining us because they have answers and they'd like to help somebody who has a question. So this is the community. We're here to help you. We are here to kind of cross the big divide, and we want to start building robots. And everybody, hopefully by June, can add to their CV, I can build and program a robot. And so that is our aim. And we'd love to hear from you. I know Tamelo's got a whole lot of polls he's going to plot there in a few minutes. We'd like to know about you. We'd like to know where you are, what grades you're teaching. Have you ever done robotics before? I see a couple of names that have been here before, but it's great to have you with us because I know you're going to help the newer members of this community. If not answer their questions, at least give them encouragement to say it can be done. And we've got quite a few members in our community who have really performed miracles last year in 2025 and have come out shining stars in the beginning in this year. All right. I see, Tamelo, you had one hand there. Was it sorted? No?
I think they were greeting. Please unmute yourself if you have a question. I saw your hand up. Couldn't get the name because they quickly lowered their hand, but it's fine. Kindly proceed.
All right. So as it works now, Tamelo will be on the lobby and in the chat. And if you raise your hand, he will enable your mic from our side. Then you can unmute it, and then you can ask your questions. We've got 2 presentations today. We've actually got 4 units that we have to see. The recording is going excellent. We've got 4 units that we're going to go through. Let me just put my power on. Here we go. All right. So M1 is really your introduction to robotics, and you have to start somewhere. All robotics, every journey has to start somewhere. You have to take that first step. And so in robotics, there's always building and programming. There's a form, which is your building, and your programming, which is your function. So I kind of keep my hands like this, and the one is the form and the other one is the function, like an X and Y graph. But in between, what happens here is your 21st century skills, and you're going to develop them. So you as a coach need to give your learners enough time to develop those 21st century skills. And by giving them all the answers, that's not helping them. And by doing it for them, that's not helping them either. Okay. So we from the UNISA Science Engagement Center are going to equip you as the coaches, and we're your backup, and we're your 911 line, and we're your call a friend or phone a friend, and there's many in this community that have been, probably if you're starting out, they've been there. If you're an expert, I know they're keen and eager to help maybe the novices. So we're all on this journey. It's really about a journey, and I will explain about the robotics journey very soon because there's something else I need to share with you. But for now, there is a method. There is a method, and you need, that was a big word, to trust. You need to trust. All right. So for M1 for this week, we're going just to do basic building today. And once we've done the basic building, I'm going to send you off with some homework. And I'm just seeing, Tumela, there's somebody on the group wanting to come in.
There's no one on the lobby. I've been admitting people.
Okay, so I'll just tell them no one in the lobby. Maybe in the wrong meeting.
I assume, yes.
Okay.
Let me quickly check on the other
Right.
meeting.
Thanks, Tumela. Thank you so much. All right. So M1 is really your introduction, and so there's 4 units. We're going to do the building today. We're going to do the introduction to building today, and then tomorrow we're going to do introduction to programming, and then also linked to the programming is then the problem solving. So how do you use the building, which we're going to do today, the programming, which we're going to do tomorrow, first part, and then how do you apply it into problem solving? Okay, and then on Thursday, we're going to do the next level of building. Okay, so I just want to show you here. So I have a really basic little robot here. That's just, except for all the wires that I need to quickly, I'll put them back soon. So here's just your basic robot. It's wheels, it's a brain, and it can go forwards and backwards. Okay, you'll see that we've advanced it. I should have taken the center off, but so in every level, you add things to your robot. Okay, whether you're adding function of structure, or whether you're adding programming. So it's form and function, and we're going to keep those 2 aligned as we go through it. So by the end of Thursday afternoon, you will be able to build a basic robot, build the chassis, okay, build the chassis, program the chassis to do basic navigation, then take a problem, try to solve it, and we're just going to teach you passive attachments on Thursday. Okay, and that's M1. And then you've got the whole month to go through all the learning material that we're going to have on our new MOOC portal. We are moving they have moved our MOOC portal from the old system to a brand new portal. And so all that admin and QA is taking a little longer than we thought, but we will have it done hopefully so in the Friday Q&A session, Tumela will launch what is available in the MOOC portal. And so all your learning materials there. There's 4 units. Every unit has got a learning material document, and then there are activities, and there are activities for the EV3. There's for the grades 1, 2, and 3 on the Spike Essential. There are a whole lot of activities, and if you know new activities, you're welcome to share it with us. And then for EV3s, there's some learning, because the EV3 is our older robot, which is this brain here, this brain that we use. And then the newer brain is the Spike Prime, and there's activities for that. Okay, and then you have an MCQ. So every unit has an MCQ, and then I will just explain to you right at the end how the assessment works and how the completion of the assessment works. But I think I'll do that at the end. I think let's just get started with robotics as is and talk about that. All right, Tumela, are we good to go?
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right. So, excellent. So I'm going to do let's share my screen. I keep forgetting to share my screen, and that's not good. Okay. I see there's a hand.
Yes.
Hi, Gwyneth. Hi.
You may proceed, yes?
I can't.
You're unmuted. Please unmute again. There we go. Or perhaps please write on the chat if you are experiencing problems with your microphone, please.
You sorted?
Her hand is still up. I can see your screen in the meantime, Dr. Hoos. You may proceed.
All right. So can I proceed? Okay.
Yeah.
Excellent.
And I will encourage those who have a question. Can I ask that for now, kindly please write it on the chat box. and then we'll address your question, please.
Okay, so I'll just do the introduction to Mello, and then we'll move over to some questions. Okay.
Okie dokes.
Okie dokie. All right, excellent. So this is our introduction. And a lot of the things might like, oh my goodness, but just stick with us. All right, so welcome. As I said before, this is about robotics, and there's going to be some engineering parts to it. There's going to be some programming part to it. And then in between is then our 21st century skills. Okay. And we're going to, so this was just by definition, this is the new Spike Prime hub. It's yellow. And the little less young is the EV3. We still use both kits, and we also use the NXT kits when we have to. All right, so don't be afraid. Just a bit of background. We are the UNISA Science Engagement Center. We started out in 2009 already. We were upgraded to a National Science Center in 2021. And we are currently a strategic project within the CSET College, the College for Science, Engineering and Technology. We focus on robotics in terms of engineering, programming, and in the 21st century skills. And remember, I said we build and we program. So that's the first 2 units. Then we do some navigation, how the robot's going to move, forwards, backwards. Here, it's kind of like a driving lesson. And then we're going to add passive attachments. So your passive attachments are things like bumpers and hooks that are not programmed. Okay. And then in March, we're going to tackle M2. And M2, we've got the sensors, and so we can use the sensor data for linear repetition and decisions. And then linked to that, that is the functioning of the robot. In terms of form, we're adding powered attachments with gearing, and so then your form improves. So remember, we're always moving on the axes. We're improving the structure, and so the form, and we're improving the function. All right. This I just present just so that you understand the landscape of where we are. So here is the UNISA Science Engagement Center, and we have an ICET Robotics Community of Practice. And by definition, now you're part of that, which is so welcome. The ICET project was created at the time in 2009 to create awareness of robotics through science and community engagement. And this project still exists within the Science Center. So this is the robotics focus of it. All right. The 2 governmental units or institutions that are driving robotics at the moment. The first is the Department of Basic Education with the curriculum. I know grade R to grade 3 is in this curriculum for all schools. And so UNISA was tasked to develop the educator training that is on the UNISA MOOC portal. That's also being migrated. And so we'll have news for that as soon as possible. But we have also got robotics MOOCs. One of them is the M1, it's M1 and M2 and M3, and M4 is busy. And then we've got the environmental sciences. So we're busy with a whole bouquet of MOOCs that are going to be available on our new look robotics MOOC portal. But we use that for engagement, and we use our online sessions like this to engage with you so that we can guide you through the content. All right. Linked to that, we also have the short learning programs, which is currently hosted by the UNISA Center for Lifelong Learning. Okay, so that's kind of where we are. But linked to that, the other institution that is really giving us a lot of support is the Department of Science and Innovation. And I hear they're now back to science and technology, so to change that one. But within DSI, there is a mandated group called SASTA, and they are for science engagement, especially with the publics. Within that is an STEMI council or a STEMI board on which we serve, and that is specifically for science Olympiads and competitions. And in South Africa, the science Olympiads and competitions, there are 4 clusters, and there's the maths cluster, there's the knowledge cluster, so like your Astro quiz and your geography quiz. Then there's your innovation cluster, like your ESCOM Expos, and then robotics and coding, for which we are the custodians. And so we are driving the agenda to get every learner to have an opportunity to participate in a competition. And so that is our urgency. Currently, we have the first LEGO League competitions. We have the World Robot Olympiad competitions. There's Conquesta, which has a quiz for grade, we've just launched. Grade 1, 2, and 3 has also got a quiz. And then grade 4, primary school, grade 4 to grade 7. And then there's a high school one for grade 7 to grade 9. Robothon is a really cool one-day only type of competition, and I'll give you details later. And the virtual gear competition is run in collaboration with Texas Tech University, and that is on the M3 portal, the M3 MOOC on the UNISA portal. Okay, so that's kind of where we are. I'll present this again, and so you just understand where we are. Okay. Your grade 1, 2s, and 3s, we use the Spike Essential and all the WeDo sets. And obviously you need a tablet or a laptop with the software, and it's Scratch. Okay. If you're grade 4 to grade 12, you're in the Challenge Robotics team. We use either the Spike Prime, and then we use the Spike Prime software, or and it's an app, or we use the EV3, and then for that we use the EV3 Classroom. So we've moved to Scratch programming for everybody, and just makes it a little bit easier. Okay. In terms of resources, I have a whole team with me. You've met Tumelo, and I'm not sure whether they're still in the hub. I have Cabello and Anzani. And then we also have 4 interns this year. We have Polani, Sinclair, Milan, and Mirina. And so they're also there to help you. We have recordings, all the recordings. Polani will make sure all these recordings go onto the YouTube channel. We have the Friday session for MOOC queries. You can welcome to send an email to that email address, and somebody very nice will answer your email for you. Yes, so we're all very nice. In terms of the MOOCs, these are the MOOCs that are busy being migrated. We'll hopefully have M1 available. But M1 is kind of your basics, and then M2 is the next version, and then M3 is where you would put strategy together, and M4 is like next level. The robotics and environmental science is really a lot of fun. It's how do you apply what you've learned in robotics to environmental science, and so you're co-learning multidisciplinary. We've got a cyber safety MOOC, and then the DBE 001 and 002, that is very closely linked to the grade R to 3 curriculum. And it's got all the lesson plans and activities available for download from grade R to grade 3, term 1 to term 4, week 1 to week 9. You just download the whole lot. And if you can create some more stuff and you want to share it, we would be very happy to share it with the rest of the country. Okay. The short reading programs is only for second semester though. So there's 2 practical SLPs, the pedagogies and components in pedagogy, and then the problem solving, data and debugging. And then for theory, so that you have to have a robotics kit for that. And we encourage you, if you do not have a robotics kit available, if you're a school, you're welcome to apply to loan a robotics kit. Otherwise, we encourage you to come to the Science Center. We also have a number of collaborating science centers who will make their kits available for you to do your practical work. The theory ones, the fundamentals of robotics and robotics for the future, are totally theory. Yeah, totally theory. Okay, and that's it. Okay, so just this one exam, I'm putting exam in inverted commas. It's a portfolio, but it's a portfolio that you need to collate over several weeks and then submit it as your exam. Okay. These are the competitions. We'll go through that later. Okay, so where are we? Where are we? So there's the short learning programs. We're doing MOOCs. Okay, we're doing the MOOCs. There's your Q&A session, and M1 will start from February. And there's the syllabus. So I'm going to share the syllabus with you. Tumelo will share that on Friday in the Q&A session. But we have Unit 1, Unit 2, Unit 3, Unit 4. So we're busy with Unit 1. There's a live online learning recording, which is this. There's an overview document which you read, and then you can select and complete the due lessons. And then there's an MCQ. All right. And I think that's about it. All right. I just before you like, how do we all fit this in? I'm going to go very quickly through the next section, but that you understand planning is required. So you as educators, this is your year, and I'm sorry to say January has left us and December is not going to happen. And competition time is usually August, September, and October. November and June are exams. So this is kind of where my year is. And so I'm looking at you and saying, okay, so what is your plan? And we're happy to talk you through and tell us what your plan is. How are you going to do this? Yeah. So for the learners as well, you can also have them can have a plan. Again, the same thing. And what is their goal? So if your plan is to teach robotics 4 terms of the year, awesome. Okay. If the learners can have it, they must have at least one team coming to a competition just for the fun of it. in August. So that'll be awesome. And if you have extramural, you have a club, at least one team. That could be doable. All right. So, and then what I did was I put all these things, I'll send it as a document. So you've got to cut all these things out and then stick them on the plan. And then you see how quickly it fills up. Yeah, that's how the year is. If you're doing a competition, there's the curriculum for the competition. It's got 12 sessions. So if you do one session a week, then that's going to take 12 weeks. And if you're going to take 2 sessions a week, well, it'll take you 6 weeks. Okay. Virtual gear competition, you need at least 4 weeks, and a WRO competition at least 8 weeks. That's what it is. It's and I think that's one of the issues that we picked up at the end of last year, is this assumption that the year is going to last forever. Well, 2024 didn't. Okay, in terms of our planning, so we do competition preparation, we do the virtual gear competition, which you can submit at the end of every term. So M1 is now February. So we'll do that again in May, and we'll present it again in August. And then M2 is then this March and June and September. And then M3 is then in April and in July. And you'll see together with the M3, we'll also do a week session with robotics and environmental sciences. And then we've got coach training and judge training in August and September. You'll also notice that at the bottom of the little box, it says over here, it says M1 challenge, M2 challenge, M1 challenge, M2 challenge. So here's the thing. The M1 challenge is there's 4 opportunities to submit, but there's 4 different challenges which get released on the last week of the month, Monday, and it closes on Sunday night. And so you've got to submit it within that. You've got to do it, and every month it will be different. So there's no way you can carry it over and kind of wait till 2 months' time. You have to get it done in that month, in that week of that month. But if you do M1 this month, and you want to try the M1 challenge in April, that's also fine. Okay. Just also no duplicates are going to be accepted. They will all be rejected. Right. And there's lots more. We'll tell you about the resources. There's the Builder Dude 35. He's got lots of tutorials. There's Mr. Hino. He's got lots of tutorials. There's GearSpot as a simulation for robotics with tutorials. And ta-da, let the journey begin. All right, I'm going to just pause a minute and ask Tumelo, are there any questions? Do I need to pause a little bit longer?
Ladies and gentlemen, if you do have a question, kindly please raise your hand. Then I'll enable your microphone. If you are, there we go. I see a hand from Zintle. Please confirm if you can see the chat and you are seeing what I'm posting on the chat. Anyone? If you can see, just show me a thumbs up, please. Otherwise,
Seem to have 2
okay.
questions. Yeah.
Yes. CBC Zintle, your microphone is unmuted. Go ahead.
It's enabled. You need to unmute it, my dear.
Please enable or unmute your microphone, please. All right. Let me go to Mafukane. Oh, there we go. Yes.
Oh,
Zintle.
sorry, guys. Sorry. Hi, everyone. Hope you're well. Thank you for this. Rookie, sorry, apology if we ask a lot of questions. Just going back to the exam or portfolio, there's a registration. Is there a fee? What's the amount for that?
For the short learning programs.
Now, I'm saying for the exam that needs to be written at the end.
No. The short learning programs, are only in semester 2, and I think it is 5,000 Rand registration because it's hosted through UNISA Center for Lifelong Learning. But we want to encourage you to do the massive open online courses, which are free with us in the first semester. Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. Sorry, Tumelo.
Good afternoon, colleagues.
Hi.
How are you?
So far so good. Yes.
I'm okay. I'm one of the returning students. I dropped out in 2019, unfortunately.
I'm glad to have you back.
I'm back now.
Okay.
I just wanted to check, when can we register on MOOC? Since you were saying you are still moving from the old MOOC to the new one, is it advisable to register?
No, don't register on the old one because nothing's available there. We're going to, all the registrations will be, hopefully it'll be up and running on Friday. We'll show you around the new portal on Friday. Yeah.
Oh, okay. That's
Okay,
great.
but welcome back.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. All right. Tumelo, can I continue?
You may proceed, yes. Can I get a thumbs up if you can see the chat and see what I'm posting on the chat, please? Can I get a thumbs up from our participants? There we go. I'm just seeing your hands raised up.
Nothing is available.
Are these questions or okay? Let me start with.
Says nothing is available.
Okay. But I see James has seen something. Yes, Fatima, your hand is up. Go ahead.
Hi. I can't view the chat.
Okay. All right. We'll sort it out. But I think James was able to see it.
That's strange.
Sister Specie, your microphone has been enabled.
Yeah, the chat says we're having trouble loading your messages. Try refresh on my end. I don't know if it's just the side. Thanks.
Try that now.
No, it's just there's a message here saying I'm having trouble loading messages. So I'm not sure if it's just on my end for the others that also can't see the messages. Thanks.
All right,
Okay,
it's
I've
fine.
changed the settings to Mello.
All right, thank you.
Let's have a look.
Marshall, your hand is up.
Okay, I'm getting the same message as the previous speaker, and yeah, there's nothing which is coming through because it's just saying we're having trouble loading, and then I'm trying to refresh, but it's not responding.
Okay, no problem. Well noted. We'll work on that part. Thank you.
Can you see the Q&A?
Pardon?
There's a Q&A option as well.
The Q&A option.
No. And you know, these people change all these settings.
All right, you may proceed, Dr. Host. We'll take care of it during the question and answer session.
Excellent. Okay, so let's go through the Q&A. Unit 1 quickly. All right, so we're going to build a robot. And let me tell you, so the building the robot is not the problem. It's like, okay, so how do you start building the problem? Why am I going on here? Just hang on a minute. Over here. Let's go here. All right. So really building a robot, we usually have a robotics kit. We have a whole lot of pieces. And the cool thing is you have one kit and you build lots of robots. So you can build big robots, small robots, tall robots, robots that move, robots that don't move. The important thing is you need to build them. All right. One kit can build lots of different robots. Okay. Now, the problem with building a robot is that if I tell you to build a house, you know kind of what a house looks like. And if I were to tell you make a cup of tea, well, you'll know how to make a cup of tea because you've seen people making a cup of tea. All right. But a robot, to build a robot, you think, oh, where do we start? Because you have no frame of reference. So you'll see time and time again, we will refer to building instructions. And your building instructions are just there to build up the learner's frame of reference. Okay? Let them build from instructions. Let them build from instructions. And we, in the Science Center, we use the EV3 kit or the Spike Prime kit. Why? Because it's a forgiving system. So if something doesn't work, you take it apart and you build it again. All right. The same with the programming. If the programming doesn't work, you change it. All right. There's no record of errors. And for us in this community, If something doesn't work, it's not that it's wrong, it's just that it needs improvement. Okay, so change of perspective, change of attitude towards things that don't work. Okay, so that's the first thing we need to have kind of in the back of our minds. There's always a point where you say, okay, I can do this. So I used to get a whole lot of teams, and they used to be able to build the Ridey Rover 6 minutes. All right. Well, obviously, when they start, they take 20 minutes, but you can get it down to 6 minutes. And so we build the same robot over and over and over again until they get it down to 6 minutes, which is awesome. But there comes a point where your learners are going to start building their own robots, where they're going to design their own robots, where they have to have ideas to build their own robots. And that is where the flip happens. Okay. Mission accomplished. All right. So what you want is we're going to introduce building chassis, and then they're going to build them, and then they're going to build them again and again and again. And then then we're going to modify it. And then we're going to add things to it. And that is how the process works. Okay. It's not a straight line. It's not grade 1, grade 2, grade 3, grade 4, grade 5. Okay. Some learners go, woo, like that, and some take a little longer, but it's okay as long as we're building robots. Okay. For your information, when we launch our new MOOC portal, there will be a Unit 1 folder and a Unit 1 MCQ. Okay, so I'll upload the learning material as a PDF, you can download that. And then there will be self-assessment documents for grade 4 to grade 12, for grade 1, 2, and 3, and then and then there's an MCQ. All right. Your M1 challenge only comes right at the end after Unit 4, and we'll get there by the time we get to Thursday. All right. Cool. All right. So we're going to build a robot, and you can see these two boxes look very different with pieces, lots of pieces, and the more pieces the merrier for me. Lots of spare parts. I collect spare parts, so I love building robots, and so we will play until we have a robot. Okay, so you'll see the EV3 kits, all the colors of gray and white and black, and then the Spike Prime is the yellows and the pinks and the blues and the Zhoosh colors. So it doesn't matter whichever one you use, and you can mix the two if you want to, but whatever. Okay, we're going to just build robots. So one kit, many designs, and I'm going to show you just now. There's a Spike app. If you have a Spike Prime, if you have a EV3 kit, we're going to go into the EV3 classroom. They give you tutorials. They give you gazillion designs, and everybody's keen and eager to give you designs. We're going to start today with wheeled robots, so robots that can move, but there is so much more to robotics than just a wheeled robot. But we'll start with a wheeled robot. Okay. So just for clarity, if you're grade 4 to grade 12 learners, we use the EV3 robotics kit with EV3 classroom programming, and or the Spike Prime kit with the Scratch programming on the Spike Prime app. Okay. And we usually have a core set and an expansion set. The expansion just gives it a whole lot of really cool pieces. Otherwise, you can't. Yeah. And then for grade 1, 2, and 3, we use the Spike Essential with the Spike Essential Scratch programming. And just as an afterword of the button there, if you're using the EV3 robotics kit, you can also use EV3 lab programming. That programming goes left to right, whereas your Scratch goes top to bottom. Whatever you use is fine. Whatever you use is fine. Okay, so which robot are we building? So if you have a robot to do something, the robot can either be mobile or it can be fixed. And if I turn off, put the presentation off and I ask you, well, give me examples. So your mobile robots will be like your vacuum cleaners, your things that move on Mars, these little robots that move in competitions, they're mobile. But you also get the fixed ones. So there's a really cool trebuchet robot where it pulls back and then shoots things into it. And then there's a tick, the Rubik's Cube. It's a fixed robot, but it can solve the Rubik's Cube. Okay. But your mobile robot is either on or on land. So that's your terrestrial, although terrestrial is like the moon and the earth. Okay, but it's terrestrial. And then you've got the airborne. The airborne are like your drones, and then the aquatic is under the water, and there's like really cool research going on there. Okay. Terrestrial, you can either walk or you can go with wheels. And so we've introduced 2 wheels and legs. Okay. So in your Unit 1 content, there is obviously the focus on the wheeled robot, and there's lots of examples of different robots, but for each robot, it has a function. Okay. we'll go through that. And then you can always ask the learner, so what do you need to adapt? How do you need to adapt it? We don't need the learners to memorize 2 connectors, 1 wheel, 2 wires, 1 motor. We don't need that. But they need to be able to look at the robot and say, oh, we've got wheels for traction, we've got the motor for power, we've got a brain for power, 2 motors to ensure that the wheels are moving. Okay. And then obviously it must be sturdy. One of the most heartbreaking things is when a team comes to a robotics competition and the robot just falls apart. Okay. What is the source of power? For our source of power, it's a rechargeable brick or in the brain. You can also use those penlight batteries at a time, but I think no. I don't think the Spike Prime has I think they all have rechargeable batteries. Okay. And you must be able to explain how the robot moves. What is going to make it move? It's your programming that's going to make it move. I'll tell you what the answer is. It's your programming. So if you program it correctly, it'll move correctly. But if you program it incorrectly, it won't. All right. So for Unit 1, there are 7 objectives, 7 things that you need to be able to build. Okay. So a wheeled robot is just any robot with wheels. And I've got a whole collection of examples here. I'll show you that. All right. What you want the learners to do then is to say, okay, this is a wheeled robot, build a different wheeled robot. And normally it's the placement of the motors relative to the brain or to the hub. Okay, so you can have a chassis with motors that are below the brain. So this would be below the brain. Okay, or mounted vertically. Sometimes they turn these up on the side, or where there's a wide, so it's next to the motors. And I'm not sure. I don't think the Spike Prime comes with track tires. No, I don't think they do. Because the EV3 used to come with track tires, and then you build a chassis for a non-wheeled robot. So this Constructopedia came out for the EV3s. I'm not sure whether I haven't seen a Spike Prime one, but maybe if there's somebody who would like to write it, they can write it for me. That'll be just lovely. Let me know. All right, we'll work on a plan there. All right. That's what it looks like. It's the online K-12 engineering education Lego Constructopedia if you want to download it. Right. So what do we do? So if you have an EV3 brain, I mean, if your robot has an EV3 brain, there's always input, processing, and output. And your processing is what happens on your brain. So that's where your programs are downloaded onto. If you can see here, so there's the brain, okay, the brick, and there's your rechargeable battery. And it's, I want to say it's really advisable that you never run a robot with a flat battery. So make sure that when you have a lesson or what, have a, I don't know, battery monitor, somebody who will come in before the class in the morning, when you have a class in the afternoon, come in the morning and charge all the robots. Yeah, it's lots of fun. When we do workshops, my whole kitchen is full of robots, which is like really cool. All right, so input is from your sensors, and that you'll do in M2. And your sensors is like your touch sensor when it's pushed, your gyro when it changes orientation, your color sensor when it picks up color, and there you can either pick up color or it can pick up reflected light intensity. So your RLI value, and I'll tell you more about that in M2. And then your ultrasonic. Your ultrasonic works like a bat. Okay, so sends out a signal and then it reflects back, and so there we go. Then you've got two values. All right, and then so that's your input. So then you've got to have output, and your output is done by the programming that you have and moving the motors, and linked to the motors is an axle, and linked to the axle is a wheel. So if you program your motor to do 2 rotations, your wheel will do 2 rotations. But if you have a wheel like this and the circumference is, say, 30 centimeters and it does 2 rotations, then it's going to go 60 centimeters. If you have a little wheel like this and its circumference is 10 and you do 2 rotations, then it's only going to go 20 centimeters. 2 rotations depending on the circumference of the wheel. Okay. We usually use the large motors for the traction, for the driving, and then we use the medium motors for the arms, the powered attachments, moving up and down and left and right and whacking things. Okay. All right. Now, I forgot, I've got this other part. So there's all your summary of it. There's your input, A, 1, 2, 3, and 4, and then your outputs are A, And we usually use A and D for the arms, and then B and C for the motors. All right, it's just how we do it. All right, and then the brain of the Spike Prime is pretty much the same. You also have the motors, and you have the sensors, and you have the brain. All right, so what are we actually trying to do? You've now heard of our input, process, and output. For friction and traction, you always have your wheels must be at the front of your robot to pull, all right? But as we're going to go along, you're going to understand center of gravity, you're going to understand gears and power transmissions. These are all things that the learners will discover. You don't need to give them a lecture on it. They will discover it, and then they will be able to articulate it, all right? And there is a gazillion, and another gazillion resources. This community is so keen on sharing. Okay, so for the Riley Rover, for the EV3, the Riley Rover for us is the easiest. So when we do workshops, we use the Riley Rover. If you have a Spike Prime, you go to here down to Prime Lessons. But there is so much else available. You can see we'll probably have multiple iterations of lists of things that you can do and things that you can build. All right. Some really cool designs. Some, and just by the way, there's lots more. There's a lot of good stuff. You can see here's like little lessons. You can print them out and laminate them if you need them in your class. But also, I'll come to that. There are also several YouTube videos that some are great and some are not so lekker. But yeah, and we'd like you if you can share it with us. Okay, so just you can see here DroidBot 4 and E and ADB. It's advanced driving based, by the way. These are a little bit more complex. And there's your EV3 with a space around it. Here's some really cool little fun robot. You also need to just build for the sake of building and just build different robotics things. So there's a car, and I think this is it looks like a merry-go-round or something. And we'll put all that in the examples. Maybe if I can just pause to say, if your teams are coming to a competition and they build straight from the building instructions, they cannot claim that it's their design. All right. And I think we need to really kind of reinforce that with our teams to say, you can build somebody else's robot, but then you need to acknowledge it, number one. And number two, build something else onto it. Don't come with exactly the same. The judges know what the standard designs are. Okay. How do building instructions work? I'll actually show you the books now. So building instructions are usually wordless, language free, very good. So this is, and it encourages teamwork, because then you'll have one learner saying, okay, you read the thing and say, I need a axle of length 4. I need one of these connectors and one of these connectors. And then somebody else, so somebody says what they must get. That person gets it out of the tray and gives it to the next person. And then the next person says, how do you assemble it? So the axle goes into the connector, and then it goes into the motor and connects it like that. And that connector goes in there. Easy. Oh, and that is step 3. All right. It's kind of reading with, oh, I did. All right. So here again, you need what is this building step number 22 for this particular robot. You turn the robot upside down. And then you need to put this little PC on there. Can you see where it is? Maybe also just to pause and say, our learners, it doesn't come naturally to build from 2-dimensional paper designs to a 3-dimensional robot like this. Okay, so I'm really asking you to give them time. Okay, don't go too fast. Okay, now some people obviously have got building instructions as YouTube videos, which is a lot of fun, which you can also do. That's also fine. I don't think you need to print all these things out. You can leave them on your laptops and let them follow the building instructions. You don't have to print everything. It's quite lengthy. Good news is, there's classroom activities for the busy teacher. There's a Spike Prime, and there's also an EV3 version of it. And yes, well done. If you can find Damien Key has given a lot of stuff for instructions. Okay, and you're welcome to download it. It's there. But what are you expecting? And so it's not just to build a robot. You are, as a coach, you need to stand back sometimes and look and watch. So there's 3D thinking. Watch how their 3D thinking develops. And I know it's not good to have have a control team and a team that does robotics, because I would hate to withhold it from a learner. But watch how their 3D thinking starts. Following instructions doesn't come easily. All right, they will make it up, and then the robot will say it doesn't want to work. That is because they didn't follow the instructions. Okay, so even my teacher workshops, there are teachers who don't follow instructions, but it's a habit. It's just a habit. Learning vocabulary. I always say, if my teams come into a competition and they say, this is a robot, it's got a thingy and a thingy and another thingy, and there's a thingy over here. No, they must be able to tell me it's an axle and a wheel, and there's a sensor, and then for traction, we've put the wheels in the front. That is vocabulary. All right. And don't pass me the thingy and the other thingy. Pass me the axle. Pass me the beam. Pass me the wheel. In terms of problem solving, we'll do that tomorrow. There are no one solution to anything. It never is, and there never was. It's called problem solving. You have to solve the problem. And so you'll solve it until you get one solution. And yes, and it's good. So please never compare one team's to another team's solution. All right, you can't do that. Okay, and then encourage teamwork. Often the learners that really don't like each other end up in the same team, but it's all good. All right, take care of your robotics kits. This is one of my photographs. The brain is being charged here. You can see on this multi-plug. I don't know whether you can see, but this cable goes over there and it goes over there. So somebody yank it over here and this whole thing is going to come crashing down. Having robotics pieces all over the table is a no-no. Use the lid of your kit. Use that as your tray. These pieces go missing very quickly. And, most of us get complete kits, and then we want to pass on an incomplete kit. Nobody wants to build a robot with one wheel. That's not okay. And so you need to teach learners to take care of their robotics kits. They received, and as they receive, they need to pass on to the next cohort of learners. And please, when you have a class, I've noticed as well, if you don't have it as explicit cleaning up time, those kids are going to manipulate you and they're going to leave early. And then you're going to sit with a whole class full of robotic stuff lying all over the place, and laptops that haven't been shut down, and brains that haven't been shut down. And then it's your own fault. It's your own fault. All right. You need to have, if you have a 2-hour session, I usually do like half an hour for what I tell you what we're going to do today. Then you have a whole hour to solve the problem that I give you. And then you have half an hour to tell me what you've done and to clean up. It's as easy as that. All right. It's about ownership. You allocate space for a Lego, for the tray. I have lots of trays. I have a thing about a tray. So I have a whole collection of trays. Mindful pieces on the floor. Keep the boxes sorted and clean. Oh my goodness, it gets dirty quickly. And regularly, maybe once a term, at the end of the term, deconstruct all, never break down. Breakdown's too harsh. Reconstruct all the robots and put them back in their kits and sort their kits and make sure that all the pieces are there. Okay. Take charge of your brain, the robot's brain. Things can go wrong. We've noticed also keep it charged. Sometimes the firmware needs updated, but if you have any problems, there's what can go wrong when your EV3 stops working. So there's actually a link. Okay, and if you don't get help there, please ask on the community. Okay, again, gazillion and 25,000 resources that you can use. All right, so that's the end of building. How do you build a robot? So you're going to read through Unit 1 through the objectives. I need you to also do some of the activities. Don't just like scan and I can do this. And then you complete Unit 1's MCQ. It's got a couple of building questions, a couple of general questions, and put them all together. All right. And we're going to go and build robots. And we're going to build robots. So I just want to, I'm going to quickly end here. Let me just quickly show So so there's a pathway as well in the robots that kids build in the robots. So this is just a Riley rover. It's just a straightforward Riley rover, 2 wheels and the brain. This is extra, and I'll show you where that came from. So there's a really cool book called Winning Design, and Winning Design. This is the old NXT brain, but it's no matter. If you can see, it's got a rigid structure around it. Okay, and that's what happens. If you have to press down on a robot, you'll see the wheels will like buckle. Obviously, it's not that, it doesn't go that bad, but you can understand. So with the Winning Design, which is a really cool read, and I'm thinking I did have it somewhere on a resource. Okay. So the Winning Design has this structure around it. Okay, so that isn't something that the learners then like, oh well, that's fun. But now how do you put this thing around a Riley robot? Okay, so that is building one robot and then adapting of something else. But now you'll see also that this is Angel, and she was at Worlds, no, not Worlds, she went internationally with I said Angel's robotics team in 2014, which is 11 years ago. And this team of 6 girls built this robot. Okay, but can you see, even though the undercarriage looks very different, extremely very different, it still has the fundamentals of a frame around it. Okay, and the cool thing about a frame around it is that you can also attach passive attachments to it, and I'll show you how to do that tomorrow. All right. This was for a particular robotics challenge. It needed to be a very flat robot. Can you see this is flat, and the motors were next to the brain. Okay, this is form meets function. Okay, its form had to be adapted, almost squished for the function. All right. Then in 2019, just before COVID, we built Mario, or my team built Mario, and they were also the national champions. But it looks very different. Okay, can you see? It's still got the basic structure. There's your brain, and there's your wheels and your motors. However, for this particular, it was a City Shaper challenge, and they needed to build a robot that didn't catch on anything. So it had to be smooth. Okay. So now they've still got a frame around the brain, but it's completely closed in. Okay. This is the progress. All right. But I want you not to get discouraged. And with that, I'm saying, if you go and look on YouTube, there are robots that will, oh, wow. Okay. It's very despondent if you introduce your learners just to that and say, oh, we can do it. Because it's a learning curve. We're going to build Riley rovers and driving bases. That's what we're going to do. Okay. And then we're going to program them to go forwards, backwards, round a block, around a bucket. We're going to program that basics. Okay. We're going to start there. All right. But I'm going to close for now. I'm just going to stop talking for now because we've done the basic building. What we do, we build with a brain, we build with motors. Each motor has got axles, each axle has got a wheel, and then I think that's the Riley rover, that's it. Okay, the Riley rover building instructions, you can download it. You just say Riley rover building instructions, and you download the document and you start building. You don't need to add sensors, you just stop before the attachments to just build a basic robot. You'll end that step by connecting it. So this is why I pulled the wires out here. Sorry, I've got a cat lying on the desk as well. It's okay, cat. All right. So the question is, how do you then get what we're going to do tomorrow? How do you get the program to communicate with the motor? It's much like your brain communicates with your hands. You've got a neural system. Okay? This is a neural system. So then you plug in. This is where I feel like an air hostess. So you take and this is now not yanking it out. It's like, it's electronics. Okay. So you put it in until it goes click. There we go. All right. So that's the motor on the left-hand side. It's just a convention that must go into port number B. So if you can see on the front here, over here, there we go. There's the port. And that goes into port number B. letter B, and it clicks in. All right, and then on this side, there's a right motor. Remember, this is the front of this is the front. The front is where your traction is on your wheels. So that is motor B, and that is motor C. This motor has got to be attached then to port number C, and clicked in. And anytime now, I have it clicked in, just because I'm just showing you. Clicked in. There you go. All right. This extra wire is the other motor that's underneath here, but that will do next week. Okay. Maybe just take it. I can't take it out. Okay, it's stuck in there. All right. This was actually for the arm, so I can put it into port A. There we go. It's in port A. Clicks in port A. There you go. All right. So now you're ready to switch on your robot and download your programs, which we're going to do tomorrow, and then you're going to make this robot move. Okay, and I'm going to ask my team in the hub. They're going to build me a Riley rover, and we're going to do some programming there tomorrow and show how it moves. But basically, you understand, if you've got this as your robot, that's the front of the robot, and you wanted to go forward, well, then the wheels must rotate this way. Okay, and if that's going forward, and you want to reverse, it must go backwards. And if you want it to turn this way, then you must put this wheel off and you turn this wheel. If you want it to turn this way, you turn this motor off and you make that one turn. All right. And that is the navigation. All right. Tumela, over to you. Do you have any questions?
There are no questions from my side, but I see Letsualo's hand is up and I just enabled their microphone.
Excellent.
Feel free to unmute Letsualo.
Hi everyone, and I was saying, okay, for the last presentation, I don't know if it's only me. I couldn't see I think Dr. Oz didn't share her screen. I couldn't see all the robot that she was showing.
Could you not see it here, me holding the rope? Can you see me
I can
now?
hear. No, I don't know
Can
if
you
it's
not
my
see my
screen.
photo?
Yes.
Can you see her now?
Yes, yeah.
Okay, Dr. Host, I think the fault was on my side. I was supposed to spotlight you for everyone so that they see. Sister Letsualo, please note that this is the first session for the year, so there's a bit of technical issues, but I promise
That's and
tomorrow.
I get it. It's okay. All
Tomorrow,
right.
tomorrow, I'm telling you, we'll be sparkling white.
You sound like an AI.
But thank you so much.
Thank you.
Any other questions from the floor? Yes, I see there's a hand from Vivian. Vivian, your microphone has been enabled. Over to you. Vivian, your microphone has been enabled, so unmute and ask your question.
Okay. Hi, everyone. Can you hear me now?
Loud and clear.
Okay. Okay. Hi, Patricia. I'm not sure if this is the right platform for me to ask this. And the thing is that I was doing robotics with Mibuni Academy is here in Tembisa. And after the program was done, I decided to open a school, but it's not running yet. What I want to do, I'm starting a Saturday school to teach kids from grade R to 7 robotics.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know which channel must I use to get assistance like robotic kits and other equipment.
Okay, you're going to need to apply. Are you an NGO though?
Pardon?
Are you an NGO or you said you're a school?
No, I just registered as a private school, but I've not yet started. I just started with Saturday classes, afternoon classes and Saturdays.
Okay, send me an email, Vivian. Okay.
Okay. Okay, thank you. Thank you.
Cool.
All right. Any other questions from our participants? It's 7 minutes past 4. I understand that it was a bit overwhelming for today, but I promise you from tomorrow it will go nice and smoothly. And we apologize for the technical glitches regarding our chat, but we managed to ensure that the question and answer chat box is open. And I have been answering some of your questions there. But if you feel like you'd like Dr. Gous to answer you, feel free to raise your hand and then we'll take it from there.
Tumelo, can you also show the Spike Prime app so that people can download it along?
All right. Okay. Can you see my screen?
Yes, perfect.
So, ladies and gents, we simply go on to Google and then you type Spark Prime, and then you'll find it here under Lego Education Spike. Then once you click on the Lego Education Spike, it's freely downloadable as long as your PC meets the required features. So this is the Spark Essential and this is the Spark Prime, but both of them, they do have the features. So here you just have to confirm that you have everything that you need. So it's encouraged. Oh, this is an online version. Okay.
Yeah.
So it's great. I didn't know that there's also an online version of it.
It's the homework. Tumelo, this is your homework.
Yeah. So yeah. This is the great part about this is that it's also available online. So you can see there on the top right, there is that option for the Spark Essential. So when I click on the Spark Essential, it turns green. And then for the Spark Prime, it's blue. And then if you want to download it, let's see.
Or you can just use it like that.
Yeah, or you can simply use it like
download.
that if you don't want to.
Download version as well.
Let's see.
There we go.
This is the download version of it.
Accept.
It just gives you some few requirements. Like I said, just ensure that your device that you're using meets all the system requirements in order for you to download it. And like I said, it's free of charge. So that's the great thing. All right.
Okay. Let's download 3, 4, 5.
Oopsie. Yes. Download 3, 4, 5. Yes.
All right. So if you don't want to download, you can just use the app. But I really would like you to go and explore this afternoon or this evening when you've got nothing else better to do. Maybe you've got nothing else to do, maybe. Go and see what's available. All right.
All right. Okay. I think there's a hand up from Poison. Poison, your hand is up.
Hello, good afternoon, everybody. Good afternoon, Dr. Gous. Yes. I'm also dropped off. Where do I read unit 1 again? Can you just direct me, please?
So the whole MOOC portal is being moved to a new portal, and we're only launching it on Friday. Okay.
Okay, thank you, Doctor.
There, you're welcome. We're going to have a whole new look and feel. It looks very different, but we're going to show you. Tumelo and I are going to be in the Q&A session on Friday, and then we'll show you how to access it. Hopefully, it'll be up and running by Friday. We're working very hard. Okay.
Thank you very much.
Pleasure, Lorraine. Pleasure.
All right. The time is 12 minutes past 4.
Yes.
And I assume that the session is over. Thank you so much, Dr. Gous. This is, they would say, as the saying would say, that this is the first of many. So, ladies and gentlemen, for those that are new, please breathe in and out. It will be well. Don't panic. It will be well. So what's going to happen now is that we are going to close the session, and then tomorrow we continue where we left off. And then the nice thing is that if you do have some few questions, please write them down so that tomorrow you can ask them. And like I said, for those that were unable to send in their questions on the chat, it was just one of those technical glitches. All right, I see there's a hand from Martin. This is the last hand, and then we close the session. Over to you, Martin.
Tumelo, hi.
How's it?
I'm good. I just wanted to ask, do you perhaps know the time that you are going to upload the session? I've been having connection problems throughout the session.
So the session is from 3 to 4. So you can simply use the same link that you used today. Yeah, and then you can simply ensure that you are part of the session. So ensure that at 3 o'clock tomorrow, you are logged in, and then you will be part of the session. Let me also encourage those of you, come again?
I don't know, I wanted to say, aren't you going to upload the recorded session on YouTube?
Oh, yes.
The recorded session will be uploaded. So like I'm saying, if you, for example, you'd like to join the session tomorrow, please make sure that you have this document or you are using the same link, and then it will direct you to tomorrow's session. Otherwise, if you'd like to get this live online learning schedule for the whole year, feel free to send us an email. The email will be directed here at iset@unisa.ac.za, and just on the subject line, just say live online learning schedule. Then I'll send you this document, and then you are A-OK.
We try to have all the recordings up by the weekend of the week.
Okay, thank you.
Really,
right, you're welcome.
We don't want to lose you. Okay.
All right.
All right, Dr. Gous, is it safe for me to close the session?
It's safe for you. It's been awesome. Thank you so much.
All right, ladies and gentlemen.
There's one more hand. There's one more hand.
This is the last hand. Dr. Gous has a very good heart. Me, I was just closing. Over to you, Ratswana.
Okay, Mr. Tumelo.
How do we pronounce your name? Sorry.
Ratswanyan.
Oh, Ratswanyan. Yes. Go ahead.
Yes, we have the teachers who have been training for M1 last year in 2024. Yes, sir.
Yes, I did escalate your email to Dr. Gous, so your issue is under construction, if I may safely say that.
Yeah.
Okay.
So don't worry, I did receive your email today, and I've put it as part of our agenda for the MOOC certificates.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you. All right,
All
everybody.
Right. Ladies and gentlemen, our turnaround time to answer emails is 48 hours. And I do answer emails. If I don't answer your email, please send another email so that I answer that email. But thank you so much for joining this session. For those that will be watching the recording, much appreciated for taking the time to watch the recording. Dr. Gous, thank you so much for your energy. Your energy is easily spreading. And for those that are new, please don't worry. We'll take you one step at a time. One step at a time. Don't worry. This is just us giving you an overall of what you can expect, but we are here to guide you. Otherwise, see you tomorrow. Don't forget to write those questions if you do have, and then we'll certainly answer them. If we can't answer them, we'll tell you that we can't answer them. If we don't want to answer them, we'll say we don't want. I'm joking. Anyways, have a lovely one. Thank you so much from the UNISA Science Engagement Center.
See you tomorrow.
Thank you.
Thank you, Tumelo. And thanks, Amri, also for helping.